are some sneaky tricks you can use in Live Arena to win more games more efficiently. And it's not about building stronger champions or getting better gear. It's about figuring out your enemies and playing a couple little mind games with them. In this video, I'm going to showcase how you can win more games in Live Arena and be less afraid of this game mode as a whole. Now, this is only going to work in the early game of Live Arena, like Bronze and Silver, but for me, it's been pretty successful. Basically, just figure out the champion's weaknesses on the enemy team, and I'll show you how you can do that. Let's take a look. Now, as this is loading and trying to find an opponent, quick heads up that if you scan the QR code at the side of the screen or click the link in the description, you can get all of these champions on a new account as you level up, and the choice between one of these legendary champions as soon as you've made your account in the promo code section. Right, let's have a look. We've got an opponent here picking their first champion. So my strategy is to try and figure out who is their strongest champion, and usually it's a little bit of mind games here. It's whoever they put in first is usually their strongest champion, although they may kind of have other things up their sleeve. So what I do is I put my weakest champions in first. So champions that I don't mind getting banned, because remember, you can ban one champion on the enemy team. So what I'm going to do is go and confirm. Okay, these are two champions that I like, but they're not my strongest. Alice is my strongest nuker. I want to try and keep her in the game. And now I'm going to keep an eye on who else they've got. Another thing to look out for is to see if they have any speed boosts on any auras, and if it's worth getting rid of those, or any champions that have a lot of perfect souls. Because in the early game of Live Arena, you know, like Silver, Bronze, most people are going to put most of their resources in a fairly singular champion, and they're going to be way more powerful than the rest. So we've got to keep an eye on that. So far, it's Alice and Loki that we've got our eyes on for potentially banning. Okay, and there we go. The last two choices. As expected, this player has gone and put in their most powerful champions first, and that's a little bit of a tell. And we could do the opposite, right? We put our weakest champions in first, and then that way we get a little bit more knowledge about who they're picking. So they do have a speed boost here, Arta. I'm thinking we're going to ban Alice or Loki. I think Alice is a good choice simply because she's probably going to do a lot of damage. So we're going to go for Alice, and he bans my Alice as well. So that's pretty good. So now we can go for our speed aura. Typically, you always want to go for, in my opinion anyway, in the early game I found putting 2 support champions and 3 attack champions in your arena team. And make sure that a couple of them have a speed aura, because that's going to really help a lot. So if one of your speed aura champs get banned, you can still get another one and try and go first. If you can go first in arena, it's going to help you massively. So we do get our first turn. So my suggestion as well is your support champions, you want to have 2 of them on the team at a time, and both of them should have some kind of revive. My cardio has a revive on death, so we're just going to go like that. Activate that first, and then we can start looking at who's got the lowest amount of health. Remember, Iodex Arta can revive, so one strategy is to try and take down the reviver if we can. So that's going to be my first focus, is try to eliminate the reviver. And because I've got a revive on death ability on myself, I don't mind if I get eliminated here, as long as the end goal towards knocking down their team and making sure they don't revive works, and that's great. So now I'm going to do my strengthen ability on my own Iodex Arta, and then we're going to get our next attack. Looks like he's going to have a faster to go here with Loki, though. Obviously, our Alice has been banned, and so is theirs. So both of us are kind of lacking in the damage department right now. So we're just waiting for our next turn. Being very aware of the fact of the potential revivers. We took Ninja down here. Iodex Arta is probably going to revive him very soon, though, so we do have to be aware of that. We've also got one turn left on my revive on death. So now we're going to do a team attack on the Iodex, try and take him down before he gets the revive off. Not quite. No problem. One AO attack from my Tholin should be able to do it. Ninja's going to be brought back to life here. Here he comes, and the A1 comes in. And we are then going to do this. And Tholin's turn meter has been reduced, which is a bit of a problem. My revive on death is going to go here. Luckily, Iodex is almost out of the picture, and then we can focus on Ninja, who seems to be doing most of the damage. And we're going to just do a heal, and Iodex should be taken out there. There we go. So once I get my Iodex's turn, I'm not going to use the revival mandate, the revive ability on Wukong, because he's going to revive anyway. So we're just going to do our A1 for now. And there we go. Tholin should hopefully get a turn in here. If not, no problem. I got my revival mandate ready to go. Okay, so now we're going to do our new Revive on Death, block debuffs, and get my A3 on Tholin. Iodex is back, so get a bit of damage out on there. Okay, Ninja's down again, so we got 2 Revivers on the enemy team. We got to try and take out both of them. That should be our priority, and trying to just keep our Revivers alive ourselves. Okay, then we get Iodex out if we can. There we go. Nice. So game 1 done. So by trying to figure out who is the best champion on the enemy team, banning that champion, and then trying to focus on eliminating their revivers and their supports first. Although sometimes you want to go for the nuker. It depends on how they've kind of stacked up their team, you know. Do one of their nukers have a bunch of perfect souls, like completely stacked out and have a bunch of stats? You know, a good tell is if the nuker has very low HP and defense, and they probably have a lot of attack. And in that case, you probably want to get rid of them first, just in case. But it depends, right? So let's see what happens here. Usually, now it's not always the case, but like I say, usually they'll pick their best champion first, okay? They got an Iodex Arta as well. It can be quite a powerful pick, having Iodex Arta, because it's that ability that revives, but also allows players to attack afterwards. Okay, we got a 4-star here. Interesting. And then we go Alice, Tholin. We'll go Cardial as well. And let's have a little look. We're going to pick who we ban after seeing these last 2 picks. So put in our Cardial. This ally speed by 20%. I think it makes sense we actually ban Iodex here. It's the best speed aura, so we want to get rid of that. And we know that he's a good reviver, so that's going to help us a lot. Yes, we're going to have Alice as the main nuker. They ban my Monkey King, so we can take the speed boost. We should have higher speed than them and should be able to go fast. I've built Cardial to have quite a lot of speed. He is my main Revive on Death support, so being able to get that immediately, it's going to be really helpful. So hopefully we can go fast here, and I'll usually pop that unless I feel like I've got the advantage, and then I'll go for my team attack ability on Cardial, but it depends on the situation that is ahead. So got a bit of a loading time here. Wonder what's going on. Here we go. And like we said, we got Cardial first. Alice, pretty low HP, so I'm pretty scared that she's going to do a lot of damage. So we are going to put our Revive on Death now. A little bit worried that she's going to hit hard and we'll get eliminated. So that Revive on Death is going to keep us in the game, especially if she's got a bit of speed. It looks like she may attack next, yes. So that was a smart play, but she actually didn't have as much damage as I thought. So that's very interesting. This seems like a fairly easy matchup. A1 is definitely going to go on Alice here, just try to get her out of the way. Like that, she is down. Then we can do the A3 on Tholin. I think we could probably take them out here. Yeah, okay, so 2 down. Brilliant. Fairly easy fight there. A Reviver coming in. We're just going to have to try and deal damage. Well, we still got our Revive on Death, so we'll be fine. And then, so this was the case of kind of going for the nuker first. And then we'll just do the AoE attack on Iodex Arta. And we just got to wait for our attack champs. And we should be able to do it with this ability. There we go. Fairly easy. Hopefully I have a bit more of a challenging chart. Look at this. We just reached Bronze 4. 1 more tier to go. And we are in Silver. We get an Ancient Shard for that. And we're going to keep going. Hopefully we get, like I said, we get a couple more challenging fights here to really kind of test our strategies out. Let's go. Another thing to keep an eye on is not necessarily their live arena score, but their character level, their player level. That will tell you how much they've been playing, how much they've been grinding, and will tell you a lot about the kind of roster that they have. So you can kind of get an idea of how powerful someone's going to be based on that. So we've got a speed aura champ here with 5 souls. So that could be something we need to watch out for. I'm actually gonna try, yeah, we'll do the same for now. It's fine. You know, it's quite interesting to see people kind of play their hands by putting their best champions first. It tells you a lot about who they value, you know? At this stage in the game, most people don't have too many powerful champs, like, you know, silver and bronze in live arena. So you can get away with just figuring out who their most powerful is and banning that. We got a couple more. Deacon Armstrong. Okay. Interesting. And then we put in our Tholin and Monkey King. You got to think, we're playing mind games here. They're going to be thinking who they want to ban already, right? But they don't know that, like, they may have already made their decision. But we're keeping our best champion to last. Alice, who is our nuker, highest power on my team. And then we go. So this could be a bit of a false, like, I'm not so sure that I believe this is going to be the problem. I think it's probably going to be this one. So I'm going to ban her and hope that I was right here. A lot of mythic champs, they're not as good as you think unless they're fully kitted out, right? So, you know, I'm not too worried about it. It's a level 65 player. I doubt they've really maxed out that champ right there. So, obviously, Wukong with the speed aura. There we go. So, we should have a speed boost here. Probably going to try and take on the Deacon first if we can get him out, because he has a bit of a problem. I'm actually going to do my critical hit first. I think we should be able to tank this damage for the first round. I want to get Deacon out of here. If we do a team attack here, yes, that's great. So sometimes, like, if you know there's a champion that could cause you trouble and you feel like, you know, their setup isn't too great by the champions that they've got and you've played against before, then you can probably deal with ignoring the revive on death. Like in my case, I've got Cardial. Okay, and then we just do the A1 and we should be good. There it is, nice and clean. Okay, I did say I wanted a more challenging fight. Hopefully it comes, but it really is just trying to figure out who do you think on that player's team is the weak point, because usually this early on there is a weak point, and if you can figure it out and also ban who you think might be their most powerful champion, you've won half the battle. Really, you really have. I think that's the secret, you know. Here we go, a level 100. Ooh, okay, so this is a player that's played a lot. So they're probably very likely to win this fight. There's not much we can do in this case. We kind of just got to say, okay, fine. And it will happen. It will happen. There is not much we can do. I mean, they've got 1,400 live arena points. You know, this is a challenge. This is the one we're looking for. Let's see if we can beat this. It's very unlikely that we can. It's a bit of an unfair matchup. They've even got, yeah, they've got quite the team, I must say. So it's okay. When you have fights like this, you got to just accept the loss. Not much you can do about it. You just got to move on and not get too disheartened. You can't win them all. Sometimes you get matches against just unfair fights, right? It's going to happen. So let's wait here. Okay, yeah, he's got a ridiculously strong team. A lot of these champions are big problems in arena. So I think we do ban her. We know how much of a problem she can be, and she's got 4-star perfect soul. So she's probably kitted that player out quite a lot. And as a level 100 player, we can assume that a lot of time has gone into building her out, you know? So yeah, we're going to do that. My Cardial was banned. So you know this player's experience, because Cardial for me is one of my most powerful pieces, most powerful champions in arena. Most people, early, like newer players, don't think about banning Cardial. They'll ban my attack champion. So pretty smart going there. And then let's see how this goes. I'll be surprised if we even get an attack in here. I'm going to assume we're just going to get instantly destroyed. It's a level 100 player. They've probably got the gear for it. Yeah, they're going to attack first. You know, as expected. A lot of HP on this. They get the shield buff down. And yeah, it's over. Our man comes in and just ruins the day with the decreased turn meter. We're going to lose some fights. It happens. There's not much you can do about it. And that's just part of the game. Let's see what happens. Yeah, like I say, over. And that's fine. We got it over nice and quick. I think that's what matters. Okay, we got more tokens to go. So let's see if we can still make our progress here. Okay, we got level 56 up next. Oh, but they've got a mythic. This is going to be interesting. Okay, let's see. A mythic with a couple souls. Okay, we're going to just put in our champs. See what they have to offer. Okay, and Alice. Okay, so they seem like a fairly newer player. They just got lucky with the mythic by the looks of things, because they got an Alice. You know, let's see what else they've got. Come on, pick your champs. Let's see what you've got up your sleeve. A ninja and an Ardex artist. So this is a fairly newer player. They've got all the beginner champs, the starter champs. They have one. It's got to be an Ardex ban. The only champ here with increased speed. It's a support champ. Yeah, we're going to have to say goodbye to the Idex Arta. They ban my Cardial. Okay, smart choice, honestly. All right, so we go for Monkey King. So we've only got one Reviver, and it's Idex. Hopefully we should be able to go first here, though. We do have the speed advantage in terms of the aura. There's quite a large speed boost, so we should be able to get Alice's turn first. And, well, at least Monkey King. So let's take a look. We've got Alice, Ninja, the Mythic. The Mythic's got not much health, actually. So we're definitely going to focus on the Mythic first. Yeah, he doesn't have much defense. His effective health is pretty low. So I'm going to assume they've built quite a lot of attack on this champ already. Hopefully we can tank this hit. It's okay. Monkey King is down. We are not going to revive Monkey King. We're going to save that for Tholin or Alice because he'll revive on his own. And then we're going to do an A3. And yes, I knew because we saw that that player had low health, right? That champion had pretty low health. So it was quite an easy tell that they put a lot of their gear towards damage, right? So because they put a lot of their stats towards damage, we could probably one-hit them with Alice. That was a big tell there. So another little bit of a tip. If you see a champion that has lower health than usual, the gear that they've built is probably a bunch of attack percent, critical damage, and all that stuff, right? So we should now have a pretty solid chance of taking out Alice. By A1, she'll be able to finish her off. There we go. Then just one champion left. Should be pretty easy to deal with. Here we go. What are they going to do? Let's see. I don't think they have much chance. So, yeah, hopefully a couple little bit tips there. Like, one, you can try and see in the champion selection stage who their most powerful champs are by, like, who they prioritize in picking. Usually they'll pick their best champions first, a good tell. And the second thing is just try and look at how much health each champion has. If they have a low amount of health, they probably have a high amount of attack, and you should prioritize those. Still not sure who to prioritize besides that rule, then go for the supports. All right, here we go. A1. Bam, bam, bam. Very tanky one. I wonder, that's interesting that they built this one with so much tank, but the rest of their team was so much attack percent. We got a Phoenix Rise. Okay, so we're going to need to be a little bit more careful here. The Mythic needs to be eliminated again. It shouldn't be too hard. We'll do for the A2. Take him out. Oh, he's got Unkillable on. We need Tholin to come in. He's got an Ignore Unkillable ability here. Okay, is it this one? No, is it this one? Is it the A3 that ignores Unkillable? Yeah, it's the A3 and that's on a 1 turn. All right, then we have to go for this. There we go. Oh, his Unkillables ran out anyway. Okay, brilliant. A little bit more tricky than I was expecting there. I pulled out the Sneak Revive. No problem, though. Here we go. Wukong should be back now. And A1 should be able to finish her off. There we go. So, yeah. A couple little tips there. Hopefully you found this useful. Remember, don't be afraid of Mythic champions. Usually, in Bronze and Silver, they're not much of a threat. And just pay attention. Usually people like to put a lot of their best gear on 1 or 2 champions. And if you try to ban those champs, then you're going to be in a good place. Thanks for watching. See you in the comments.